Hello everyone, in this video I will discuss about the remaining portions of the properties of whole number, that is multiplication and division. In the previous video I have already discussed about the properties of addition and subtraction. Now let's start the video. Now just see, here all the properties of multiplication are given, that is closure property of multiplication, commutative property of multiplication, associative law of multiplication, multiplicative identity, cancellation law of multiplication, multiplication by zero, then distributive law of multiplication over addition, and distributive law of multiplication over subtraction. So one by one I will discuss about the properties. So first one is closure property of multiplication. Now what is this closure property of multiplication? In the closure property we will see that if we take two whole numbers and multiply them, then the result or the product will always be a whole number. In this example, just see, I have taken two whole numbers, that is 20 and 19. These two whole numbers I have taken, and whenever I will multiply these two numbers, what will be the product? The product is 380. So 380 is also a whole number. Okay. So this is known as a closure property of multiplication. Whenever you will multiply two whole numbers, the result or the product which you will get, that is also a whole number. Now the next property is commutative property of multiplication. Now in case of commutative property, you will see that if you take two whole numbers and if you multiply them in any order, okay, then the result will always be the same. That is, a product will always remain same. It will not change. In this example, you will see I have taken two whole numbers, that is 8 and 9. At first, I have done what? I did 8 into 9 and the product is 72. Okay. Now, if I reverse the order and if I multiply these two numbers in this way, 9 into 8, then also the result is 72. So, the results are not changing. The products are same even if we reverse the order of multiplication. Now the third law. Third law is associative law of multiplication. In associative law, we generally see if we take three or more than three whole numbers and then if you make groups. If we make groups, then in that case what happens? We generally see that if we are making groups, then also the result remains the same. It never changes. Okay. In the first case, just see, in this case, I have kept the first two numbers within the parenthesis within the first bracket and the third number is outside the bracket. And in the second case, you can see that I have kept the first number outside the bracket and the remaining two numbers inside the bracket. Okay, so let us see what will be the result. You know very well that according to Bodmer's rule, you have to operate the bracket portion first. So what you have to do, we have to multiply 8 into 9. So what will be the result? The result is 72. So with this product, you have to multiply the third number, that is 5. So 72 into 5, how much you will get? 5 into 2 is 10, 0 carry 1. 7 into 5 means 35. 35 plus 1 is 36. So what will be the result? The result is 316. In the second case just seen, here also according to Bodmer's rule, you have to operate the bracket portion first. So what you will do? You will simply multiply these two numbers. What will be the result? The result is 45. So when you will multiply the product with the first number, that is 8, what you will get? Just see, 8 5s are 40, 0 carry 4, 8 4s are 32 plus 4, 36. So 360 is the result. So here also you can see that the results are not changing. The results are same. Okay, that's why we can say that multiplication follows the associative law. Okay, now let us learn about the multiplicative identity. So what is multiplicative identity? Multiplicative identity in case of multiplication means it is 0. Which is the additive identity? I have already discussed in the previous video. The additive identity is 0, but the multiplicative identity is 1. Okay, whenever you will multiply 1 with any whole number, what will be the product? The product will be the same whole number. Okay, that number itself will be the product. Just see in case of this example, you can see very well that I have taken one whole number 10. Whenever I am multiplying 10 with 1, what is the result? The result is 10. Okay, now even if I reverse the order and if I multiply if I do 1 into 10, then in that case also the result is 10. Okay, so we can say that 1 is the multiplicative identity. Okay, now I will discuss about the next law, that is cancellation law of multiplication. Now what is this cancellation law of multiplication? Now if I take three whole numbers, that is a and b and x. Okay, x is the same whole number. Now here also you will see that property, that is cancellation law of addition. It is very much similar to that. Okay, so if I take one equal sign, the left hand side of the equal sign will be considered as left hand side, and the right portion of the equal sign will be considered as the right hand side. Okay, now if you change the side of any number, then what will happen? The number will go to the other side, but the sign will change. Okay, here just see the sign is multiplication. Okay, I have written a, b. Okay, and also I have multiplied by x on both the sides. So what will happen? Simply you have to cancel it out. So whenever you will change the side, it will become what? X by x. So anything divided by that number, what will be the result? The result is 1. Okay, if I do 10 by 10, so what will happen? I will get 1. So in that case, you can see very well that the number will be cancelled out, and the answer is A equals to B. And one condition you have to follow, that is x should be a non-zero number, because you know very well if we multiply any number with 0, then what will be the result? The result will be a 0. Okay, so we cannot take 0 as the number. We always have to take a non-zero whole number. Clear? Now here just see what is the case. One example is given over here. Just see 5 into x equals to 10. Okay, so I can break this 10 as 5 into 2. Okay, so what will happen in that case? I will get same numbers on both the side, and in that case what I can do, I can cancel it out. Okay, because simply when I will change the side, what will happen? The multiplication will become divide. So 5 by 5, it will be cancelled out. You will get 1. So that's why the answer is what? X equals to 2. Now the next property. Let me discuss about the next property. This multiplication by 0. Now if you multiply any whole number by 0, the answer is always 0. If you reverse the order, then also the answer is 0. This one you have to keep in mind. I think already you know about this. Now the next property is distributive law of multiplication over addition, or multiplication is distributive over addition. Now what does that mean? It means that a into b plus c, if it is given in this way, a into b plus c, then if we open the bracket, then what will happen? A into b plus A into C. A into B plus A into C. Now let me explain this portion with the help of one example. Now look at this diagram. Just see distributive law of multiplication. Now in case of distributive law, we can simply do what? Suppose we have taken three whole numbers, 10, 5 and 2. These three whole numbers I have taken. Now by the method of BODMAS, if we follow the BODMAS rule, then in that case what you have to do? We have to follow this method. Okay, this portion, that is, first I will operate this bracket portion, that is 5 minus 2 means 3. Then with that product I will multiply the first number, that is 10. So 10 into 3, 30. This is one way of doing the calculation. And the next method is distributive law. So in that case what you have to do? Just see, in that case simply you have to do 10 into 5. 10 into 5. If it is plus, then you will write plus, and if it is minus, then you have to write minus. So 10 into 2. Okay, 10 into 5 minus 10 into 2. If it is given plus, what you have to do? 10 into 5 plus 10 into 2. So this is the property of distributive law. This is distributive law of multiplication over subtraction and over addition also. Okay, if you consider addition, then just see, in this case I have shown you that addition portion. Here also what you have to do, you have to operate the bracket portion first. So what you will get, 9 into 5 plus 4 means 9. 9 into 9 means you will get 81 as a result. And if you follow the distributive law, what you have to do, 9 into 5 plus 9 into 4. That is the number which is outside the bracket. With that number you are multiplying the numbers which are inside the brackets individually. First you were doing what? You were multiplying the number which is outside the bracket with 5, and then again what you were doing, you were multiplying this number 9 with the second number, that is 4. And whatever sign is given, you have to write it in the middle portion. It is given plus sign, you will write plus, and if it is given minus, you will simply write minus. So what I said, 9 into 5 plus 9 into 4. Now in that case what you will see, 9 into 5 means 45 plus 9 into 4 means 36. Now if you add this, what you will get, just is 6 plus 5 means 11, 1 carry 1, 4 plus 3 means 7, 7 plus 1 is 8. Okay, so can you see both the answers are same? Since both the answers are same, we can say that 9 into 5 plus 4 within bracket 5 plus 4 is equal to 9 into 5 plus 9 into 4. Okay, so we can say that multiplication follows the distributive law, both in case of addition and subtraction. Now again, if we come back to this portion, you will see that this distributive law, multiplication over subtraction, if I consider, in that case you will see that A into B minus C means what? Similar to that of addition, A into B minus A into C. Clear? So I have already discussed about that example. So let me complete that portion. So just see, if I solve this portion, I have already discussed. Now let me discuss this portion. That is 10 into 5 into 10 minus 2. So what you will get, 10 into 5 means 50 minus 10 into 2, that is 20. So the result is how much? 30. So can you see, in both the cases the results are same. Since the results are same, that's why we can say that 10 into within bracket 5 minus 2 is equal to 10 into 5 minus 10 into 2. Okay. Now the next property, that is properties of division, I will discuss. This is the last property. Okay, in case of whole number, already I have discussed about the properties of addition, subtraction in the previous video, and in this video already I have discussed about the properties of multiplication. And then this properties of division is left. This one I will discuss, and then after that the video will be complete. Okay, so just see here, first property is division by 0. Now in case of division by 0, now what is division? You know very well, division means repeated subtraction. Addition means repeated multiplication, and division means repeated subtraction. Okay, suppose if I do 10 into 4, 10 multiplied by 4 means what? It means we are adding 10 4 times. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. So in this way we are getting 40. Means repeatedly we are adding 10. In case of division, what happens? We are doing repeated subtraction. So if I consider this number, 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. Now by the method of subtraction, how we can do that? Now 15 minus means we have to subtract the divisor from the dividend continuously until and unless we are getting 0 at the last. Whenever you will get 0 at the last, then you know that we have to stop. But until and unless you are getting 0, continuously you have to subtract the divisor from the dividend or from the whatever answer you were getting, from there you have to from that number you have to subtract the divisor. So in this case, just see, 15 minus 5, what you will get? You will get 10. Now 10, since it is not 0, again you have to subtract the divisor from that number. So 10 minus 5, what you will get? You will get 5. Now 5 is not 0. Again, what you have to do? You have to subtract the divisor from this answer, that is 5 minus 5. So what you are getting now? You are getting 0. So since you are getting 0 at the last, so this is the point where you have to stop. So in order to get 0, how many moves you have to take? Just see, all total 1, 2, 3. 3 times you have to subtract the numbers. Okay, that's why the answer will be 3. Okay, now but in case of division by 0, not 0 by any number I'm not talking about. I'm talking about any number by 0. If you're dividing any number by 0, why is it infinite, or why is it not defined? The reason is that when you will subtract 0 from that number, you will get the same number again and again. Just see, 15 minus 0, you will get 15. Again, if you subtract the divisor 0 from that number, you will get 15. Again, if you do the same thing, you will get the same number again and again. In no way you will get 0. You will never get 0 at the last. Since you never get 0 at the last, and it will go on and on, so that's why division of a whole number by 0 is not defined. Clear? Now the next property I will discuss, that is division algorithm or division rule. Now what is this division algorithm or division rule? The main rule is that dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. This is the division rule or the division algorithm. Okay, now if you consider this example, you can see that I have divided 51 by 6. So this 51 is known as what? This is known as dividend. 6 is known as the divisor, and whatever result I am getting, that is known as quotient, and this portion is known as remainder. So in order to get the dividend, this 51, if you want to get it back, so in that case, what is the rule of getting it back? Simply we have to multiply divisor into quotient. Then whatever product we will get, with that product you have to add the remainder. So 6 into 8 plus 3. So 6 into 8 means 48. 48 plus 3, 51. Okay. So just see, we are getting back the dividend in this way. Okay, so divisor into quotient plus remainder is equals to the dividend. Now I will discuss about the next property of division, that is division of whole number by 1. Now you know very well that if you divide any whole number by 1, you will get the same whole number. Suppose if I do 100 divided by 1, what I will get? I will get 100. So any whole number, if you divide that whole number by 1, you will get the same whole number. Similarly, if you do the next property, that is division of whole number by the same whole number, if you do that, then in that case, what will be the result? The result will be 1. That is, if I do 100 divided by 100, this whole number, you are dividing the whole number 100 by the same whole number 100, then what will be the result? The result will be 1. Okay. Now the next rule. The next rule is division of 0 by any whole number. Now already I have discussed this one, that if you do 10 by 0, if you do 10 by 0, then that is not defined. Okay, because by the process, by repeated subtraction, I have already shown you that 10 minus 0, you will get 10. Again, you will do minus 0, you will get 10. So it will go on and on. So that is why 10 by 0, it is not defined. But if I do 0 by 10, that is the reverse thing. If the whole number is on the denominator, in that case, what will happen? In that case, you will get 0 as the result. Okay. Now the last property I will discuss. The last property is the closure property of division, whether it is followed or not followed. Now in this case we will see that the closure property is not followed in case of division. Okay, so if I do 20 divided by 5, if I do 20 divided by 5, in that case, since 20 is divisible by 5, so in that case I will get 4 as the result. Now 4 is a whole number, but if I take 29 and if I try to divide it by 5, now 29 is not divisible by 5, so since it is not divisible by 5, either I will get one decimal number or a mixed fractional number I will get. Okay, so the result will never be a whole number. So in that case, we are not getting any whole number. Okay, so that's why we can say that closure property is not followed under division. So we from this, what we can conclude, that we can conclude that closure property is followed in case of addition and multiplication, but it is not followed in case of subtraction and division. This is all about the properties of division, and I have already completed all the properties in my 2 videos. Hope you will be able to understand all the 2 parts. Take care of yourself. Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye.